Noisy Pixel.
What's up, nerds? Welcome to the Noisy Pixel Podcast, the official podcast of noisypixel.net, where you can find gaming news, reviews, previews, and all that good gaming stuff. I'm your host, Brian, and today is a special day. Not special because I'm joined by Victor Aparicio. That's old news. We all know that shit. But we're joined by Azario Lopez, the boss man, the big kahuna, the dude.
I don't make them call me that, but I am here.
He does. He beats us if we
He
don't.
sends out a memo every weekend.
He says, "You're gonna have to call me the big kahuna, Brian, or you're fired."
Do you guys can you cuss on this podcast? Are we allowing that?
I sure. I'll tag it as explicit. It's fine.
Okay.
Because there's that whole YouTube thing, right, where you can't pander to kids, or else you can't run ads on it or anything like that. Not that we do that to begin with.
We haven't fallen into that category. If anything, they're trying to get us away from the children.
Exactly. You made that sound so bad. Keep these boys away from the children.
Yes. Thank you for having me, though, Brian.
Yeah, good to have you on the show. We feel like we should have you on the show more, but you're such a busy guy. You're hard to nail down. You're too busy being the lifeblood of Noisy Pixel, doing all that hard work stuff.
I think it's laziness. I'm going to blame it on that. Anytime I can't do anything, I'm going to blame it on just being lazy.
I mean, it's probably going to boil down to that, isn't it? Because if you could do it, you just choose not to. Which is
it's weird. It's weird that answering emails is like the hardest thing to do in the world, and you wouldn't guess that if you don't like actively answer emails all day. But once you do, it is the most tedious and annoying thing to have to do, and it takes so much time, and that's what takes most of my day is goddamn emails. Every
writing them,
day.
rewriting it, making sure that you don't get fired for saying something stupid.
Yeah. How many exclamation marks did I use?
Every other sentence is an exclamation mark.
How many times did I say thanks?
Do I use best regards, or do I say kind regards?
I usually go for the thank you for your time and let me know if there's anything I can do or anything we can do. Anytime I email, here's a little inside scoop, you guys. Anytime I email for Noisy Pixel, I always say we and our, and
the royal we.
Yeah, it's royal. It's not
as if I see those emails.
Hey, if you want to get on the chain, you're more than welcome. Get you guys all on the chain.
Yeah, CC me. I'll just reply back, boy, this is neato, you guys. It's just going to be reply all.
God, I would hate that.
Instant single-handedly. Yeah, neato. Instead of saying regards, just neato, comma, Brian Lee.
Jeez, I would hate you.
Oh, man. All right. Well, let's talk about what you're playing, Azario. Let's jump into the Whatcha Playing segment of this podcast.
Well, if you looked at the website today, I put out my Star Ocean First Departure R review, and I beat this game on PSP years ago, and it's pretty much the same game. And people hate on it though, and I know why they hate on it, but I think that they're not getting the meat of what this game has to offer. And like, it's very generic, there's a boss and you have to collect these 4 emblems, and then you get in, and then you go to the demon world. It's cut and dry. But along the way, you get into these private story events that kind of build the characters and make them more robust. And the fact that some of the party members, you can just say, no, I don't want to add you to your party, and they'll be completely removed from the story.
Oh.
And you can even miss. There's several characters where you can miss if you just don't do these things. And I decided for this time through, because my first time through years ago, I didn't get like Welch and that one cat girl, but this time I did. And Welch is like this perverted, like hammer wielding girl who anytime you get into a private event with her, she always like wants to like hit on men, and it's really funny. But yeah, so like those are characters where you can just beat the game and you don't have to really care about them.
That's cool that you can like choose into it.
Yeah, there's a lot of player interaction and player choice, so it's not linear in that sense, even though you have an end goal. So that's kind of like what I get from it. The battle system has been fixed because it was really hard before, and now it's kind of been toned down. But other than that, it's pretty much the same game. And I think mostly this is a game that you should play if you haven't played a Star Ocean game. If you played it before, you can probably beat this game in 12 hours because they have the 2x speed up thing. Usually it takes me around 24 hours to beat it, but with the 2x thing, you can get through it pretty quickly. But yeah, there's that, and I'm playing that SD Gundam Generations game on Bandai Namco released it on Steam last week. That game's dope.
Yeah. Does it really capture the Gundam experience?
Yeah, and not just that, it goes through like some of the most iconic battles in the Gundam history, and it hits on all the Gundams. So you start from Gundam Wing, and then you can choose all the way up to Iron Blood and Orphans, and it goes through different episodes, but the matches are incredibly long. Like one scenario can probably take an hour, which is why it's taken me a while to get through. Yeah. It's more like tactical RPG gameplay, but there's long story sections in it, and you can add characters from other Gundams that weren't necessarily in that Gundam in your party, so that's kind of cool.
That's neat. And you can make like a dream team, basically. Yeah,
and they level up through each series, so if you just jump to another series, they'll keep their level.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm playing one more.
Does it hold up as a game for people who aren't like fans of Gundam? Like on its own, if it was like not themed Gundam, would it still be a fun game?
Yeah, I guess. The thing about it being Gundam though is I think you have to be a fan because the story scenes do go kind of quickly and don't really touch on everything. But whenever I feel nostalgic, I do cry a little bit. And when I played Gundam Wing, like some of the scenes in the beginning when I just jumped on it, I was like, a little tear came out, or I felt a little choked up.
That's good.
Just because. Yeah, because I love the Gundam Wing, and I only knew this because I knew what was happening. But if I was just experiencing it for the first time, it'd be like the Cliff Notes version of Gundam W.
So it's good for like for the nostalgia factor and for people who are big fans of the series.
Yeah, and then the last game I'm playing right now is Saga Ambitions, I believe. It's the new Saga game on PlayStation 4. And it was a port of a Vita game, so you can expect it to be just that. I think this game was meant to be a portable game, and it's available on iOS and Switch. So I mean, you can get it there if you want to retain that portable nature. I do believe it's also available on Switch digitally too, but our Vita, sorry. But yeah, it's different than Romancing Saga 3, which I just reviewed. It's different from a lot of Saga games, but I'm about 6 hours in, so we'll see. We'll see what happens once I get to the next story, because there's 4 storylines. So I kind of want to get to the other stories before I make my final judgment.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah, and that's it.
Nice. How about you, Victor? What have you been playing?
Aside for Life is Strange 2, the new episode 5 came out, the final episode. So I've been playing that. Without spoiling it, it's just, oof, man, that game gets me going. But aside from that, I've been trying to play Control because, God, that game won't end. Like, it's not terribly long either. It's just that every time I start it, I have something else new to do, or like, I just get distracted. So, but But like I don't know. I think it's I didn't really expect it to be a game where like it's kind of okay to just go back in and not necessarily play the story. It would seem like a much more linear experience than that. You play the story, you get what you come for, and then you're just like, all right, well, fine, that's over. It's time for a new game. But like I don't know, I like the gunplay. I like challenging myself to like hover around and like try to kill people in like interesting ways. But that's just like more of a personal challenge thing that I like to do. I just kind of like the gunplay in it. Just whipping around, throwing stuff at people with my powers.
I was surprised. I was surprised that game was a Metroidvania when I first played it. I didn't read much into it when I first started in it, and I was like, "Wow, this is a Metroidvania." And I don't like the map. I still playing it whenever I jump in to do some of the side stuff that I missed just for trophies. I still don't like the map.
No, yeah, it's too like a bit intricate, and it's like kind of easy to get lost. Like there are so many side missions where it's just like this mission starts when you go over here, and you're in the area and you're walking around in circles, being like, I don't get where the mission.
Well, it's a 2D map, and they're asking you. They don't tell you which floor to go on.
Right. Yeah.
You know the best map recently that I did. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order has one of the best 3D freaking maps I've ever played. It tells you where you're going. It tells you where you can't go. It tells you where you should go. It has all the information you need. And like, yeah, great job.
Kind of reminds me of the Doom map, the new Doom map.
Yeah. But I loved Control. I loved Control.
Yeah, it's great.
It's like watching a David Lynch movie, you know, like
freaking hard too.
Yeah. Oh, depending on what. Yeah, there's some areas that get pretty difficult. I feel like some of the bosses you kind of have to cheese yourself through. Like you just have to wait until you get some of your ability power back, and then just throw something at them, you know, and hide until that's over. But it does get difficult. I just like the characters. I love the design. Remedy did a great job with that game.
Is it like tedious difficult, or is it like fun challenge difficult?
Go ahead, Victor.
I was gonna say it can get that way if you just don't get what to do. Like there's this optional boss, and I don't know if it's spoilers, but like you like fight yourself in this one like side mission, and like if you just don't get like a good strategy to get, like you're just gonna die all over again, and then you have to run from a checkpoint all the way to like this mirror world. You have to go up to the mirror, then you do the animation to go through the mirror world, and you got to run all the way back. Like, so it just depends on the side boss. Like, it can get tedious, but it's fine.
Have you got to that music video maze part?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the strangest.
That was so cool. Yeah. Talk about David Lynch.
Yeah, that was a very strange part. Yeah, everything. The playing Control is like a David Lynch film. And that's cool. I really respect the choices that Remedy decided to roll with this game. Just some direction, more direction would have been nice.
Yeah. PS3 commercials, y'all.
Definitely one of my favorite single player games of 2019. And just to plug, our lists should be coming up soon.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what the end result is for that, because there was a lot of thought put into the top lists.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna lie to you guys all and just put what I want. Just joking.
I'll start asking around behind the back. Did anybody put this game as the top list?
No, I was like, I never heard of these games.
that Oni Kiss Oni-chan game is on every list. Okay, yeah, but okay,
cool.
Yeah,
cool, Victor.
Also, another plug. Look out for that Life is Strange review. It's gonna be great.
Oh yeah, playing through. I saw you playing through it the other day.
Yeah, you were looking through my window.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something, Azario. Now that I got you here and we're on the air, because like I always think I'm just like in the middle of like capturing gameplay, like I'll get like a stupid like trophy notification or like someone message me and I'm like, man, like that's like obviously you're not gonna put that in, But like, I just wondering if you find it just as annoying as me recording it, being like, why don't I turn off my notifications? Like,
I don't know. I'll make sure that those don't get in there. But I did turn off my notifications on PlayStation.
Because there's some games where it's just like I think it happened in Rise too, where it's just like you get to like a climactic moment and it's like near the end of the level and it's just like, oh yes, like all magical, and it's like bring, and I'm just like, you stupid, like this is the most emotional moment right here. Like why can't you be like Journey and just do the trophy unlock at the end of the scene, like when it's over?
I turned off all of that. I turned off all messages too, so sometimes people do try to add me to a party and stuff, and I just never see until like 3 days later. I don't care because I don't want to play with anybody anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
It's true, he doesn't. Last time we played was Division 2.
Did we? Oh, we did.
Yeah, you
and
guys
I never
did.
played with you again.
It was a preview. It was a nice preview. I like that. I like that game. I wonder why it didn't do so well.
I think it did good.
It was not like, gangbusters.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it didn't.
Anyway, sorry. Derailing over here.
What are you playing, Brian?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Brian.
I've been playing a lot of Switch after buying it. I feel like I really need to make a good return on my monetary investment of purchasing a Switch. So I've been playing a good amount of hours into that. So I finished the story bits of Pokemon, both after the first go around, and then that subplot with the legendary Pokemon. I finished that as well. It's fun. I've been having a great time. I know there's a lot of haters for it. I have one friend who just like is so adamant about it being like a garbage game that he gets visibly upset every time we talk about how much fun we're having with the game. And sometimes I purposefully try to have even more fun just to rub it in his face. But no, it's a really good game.
I used to do that with Game of Thrones, where all my friends are watching Game of Thrones, and I would just like hate on it hardcore. And then I got into it. So maybe you just need to get him to play it, and he'll actually start enjoying himself. He's just being a hater.
Yeah, I think he's just being a hater. But tomato potato, to each their own. It's no skin off my back if he doesn't want to play it or whatever. But yeah, I've been having a really good time with it. I think it definitely makes Pokemon more accessible for the casual player who wants to like do all the IV stuff and EV stuff, because they make it a lot easier. So it's kind of good for getting your like feet wet in it, because you don't have to think too much about it, which probably why all the pro players for Pokemon like hate on it, because it's so easy. But I mean, I like it because I always put off doing IV and EV stuff because I'm like, it's fucking complicated. I just want to play Pokemon.
Yeah, I don't play that.
But now I'm actually like considering it because of how easy, because they have once you beat the game, they give a thing that shows you what your IVs and stuff like that are for your Pokemon, so you can tell how good your Pokemon actually are, and then you can kind of like put the work into actually making your Pokemon good if you want to, which is kind of fun. Other than that, another game that I've been playing that I purchased over the holidays or Black Friday was Heave Ho, that multiplayer game. I believe it came out on Steam first, but I saw some videos of people playing it and it looked like a good fun party game, so I picked that up on the Switch because I feel like the Switch as a local multiplayer co-op type console is very good. So a little bit about Heave Ho. Heave Ho, it's up to 4 players. You guys are kind of like these little blob dudes with arms, and you control the direction that you're like moving your arms with the left stick, and you grab onto things using the L and R buttons. And the whole point of it is to there's a end goal you have to get to, like all of you guys have to get to, and to do that you have to hook arms with each other and swing from platform to platform. But it's kind of like clunky and wonky in one of those like I guess like Octodaddy sort of like situations where it's just fun because stupid shit happens because you can't control your person well. So it was a lot of fun. I think it's the most fun I've had playing one of those like local party game type things with some friends. It's good for laughs, and it was on sale for like $6. So it was a great money well spent. Money well spent for sure. So highly recommend it to anybody who is interested. You can get it on Steam, I'm pretty sure, and definitely on the Switch, which is what I have it for. And I recommend getting it on the Switch because it's really easy to get a group of people together. You just hand them controllers and they start playing. But yeah, other than that, that's all I've been playing. I do have a review for that Shovel Knight Brawler that's gonna be up in a couple days. It's gonna be up Monday of next week.
Monday,
right? That's what you told me, Azario.
Tuesday.
Is it Tuesday? Okay, cool. I have more time
The
than
10th.
All right,
The 10th.
I'll
I'll take your review on Monday though if you want to.
All right, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you on Monday, Azario. You shouldn't have told me. You should be like, yes, Brian. It was Monday. It's Monday. Just get it over to me. Yeah. So be on the lookout for that. I don't have any opinions on it right now, but I will have opinions on it once I get that review up.
Good.
Yes. I think that's it for what I've been playing and what we've been playing. So
Cool.
Let's move on to new stuff, to the weekly recap of things that's been happening for the past week. News.
Is this a real thing that you guys do on the show?
No, we're just trying to impress you, Azario, obviously. It's like when your boss comes by and you like have to pretend to look like you're busy.
I didn't think you guys did.
You're just gonna be like, oh shit, we gotta look professional here. Time for segments. No, but we do talk about the news on every podcast recently.
Okay.
Just casually.
Hold on.
Interesting
1 second.
things.
Can
Was
you
that a
open the door for
cat?
the cat? Yeah, sorry.
Don't kick the cat out.
I'm opening up the door for the cat.
Noisy pixel cat. Some new stuff. What's some interesting new stuff from this week that you guys thought was cool that you want to shout out on this podcast?
Victor.
Vitar. Aprecio.
Let's see. It did catch my eye that we put up a news thing for the update for the God, I'm like stumbling all over my words. The Monster Hunter World, they got a free update for the Iceborne stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, my friends forced me to buy that game, and it was one of those things where I was like, I hate this. I hate planning things. I don't like why can't I just punch it without an animation taking like 3 whole seconds just to punch something, and I was starting to get it. I was just like, oh wait, if I like grab all this stuff and put it together and like have these traps and and then like that's when I fell off the planet or the Earth or the Monster Hunter World, if you will, for that game. But so I'm just excited for now that I get why like this new version of Monster World got like somewhat came like a small phenomenon for people. I'm just glad that they got more stuff, and yeah, I'm just happy for them. I'm just happy for people in general. So,
Yeah,
Everyone loves free content.
yeah,
exactly. Free content.
We have a Blaster Master 2 feature on the site. It's for the Steam release, and I worked with Inti Creates to put some stuff together, just some details on the game, and that you should probably pick it up because it is arguably one of the best 2D action platformers that I've played. And if I'm being completely honest, I don't think it's doing well on Switch. And I think this Steam release will be good for it to get it to a new platform. It's like $9 too. And it's literally like 12 hours, 8 to 12 hours of content, especially with the new Copen DLC. Like, it's a lot better than the first Blaster Master Zero, which sold better than this one. So I'm like confused as to why. And I think what happens is like people feel that they need to beat something in order to get to the second one. So if you look at if you look at the sales of Trails of Cold Steel to Trails of Cold Steel 2 to the third one, they're not the same. They get lower and lower, and because people feel that they shouldn't buy it until after they beat it. But those are 90-hour games, you know?
Yeah.
Like who's going to have time for that? And the story is so centric. So with this, it's like, no. You can definitely jump into the second one, and the second one is so much better. So I wanted to work with them on putting something together on the website, because I do think this game is worth your $10.
Yeah, I'm always a huge fan when a game is sub $10.
That's what I'm saying.
More inclined to buy it. That's why I like indie games. They're affordable and they're fun.
The music is so freaking good too. There's some really good tracks. But yeah, that's what I have. Brian, what are you looking at?
Dope. So Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming to PC. I believe tomorrow. I think that's right. But that's exciting for me because I've been wanting to play it. And
isn't it already out?
Is it already out? Is it out? Am I slow poking it over here? I probably am slow poking it over here. That tends to be how it goes.
I think it's out.
No, what? Did they release it early? Because there's all the announcements were like, oh yeah, it's coming December 5th.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's out. I think that's just an update.
Their official Twitter said it's coming out on December 5th, though. Is it out
really?
Already? Yeah. Is it legit out?
I think so, because everyone's complaining about it.
I like this fight that's happening.
Complaining about it. Now I'm less excited. Now I'm super sad. I was excited to play Red Dead 2
like
on PC. And
they rolled out a patch that's like, yeah. It launched on November 5th.
Oh. That's forever ago.
Do you want to cut this out of the podcast?
No,
sir?
I'm going to leave it in. No shame in that. I'm just misinformed.
You probably go to Polygon for your news, huh?
No, I'm actually on the gaming Reddit right now and looking at stuff.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, all right. Well, that's weird that they would release it early. November 5th. It says coming to Steam December 5th right here on this poster that they posted on their website. Not on their website, they're on their Twitter.
Maybe that's the Steam release.
That's what I was saying. Steam release. That's what I was saying. No, see now you're making me feel bad for no fucking reason.
Oh, so it launched. It launched.
You fucking asshole.
It launched on their launcher on November 5th.
Oh, okay. All right. We got our wires crossed.
We're both right.
We're both right and wrong at the same time. So boo on us. Anyways, on Steam, December 5th, Red Dead Redemption 2. If you want to play the inferior one on their actual launcher thing that people apparently are complaining about, according to Azario, feel free to do that. Or you can play the Steam one that's coming out December 5th.
There's a patch.
It'll already be out by the time you listen to this, so.
That's pretty nice. I didn't know they're going to do a multi-launcher thing.
Yeah, I think you got some extra stuff for getting it from their official website.
Mm-hmm. None of this Epic Game Store exclusive.
Yeah, none of those exclusive.
That gets all those gamers real heated.
Yeah, we have a
different button.
It'll keep us warm this winter with how heated we're getting.
We have a Mercenaries Warriors or whatever 5 review coming out next week.
Mm-hmm.
That's an Epic Store exclusive. So
my gamer blood is boiling right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that's getting really big on the site is this visual novel, You and Me and Her, a love story. And it's like a really like there's this guy and he like has a girlfriend and then like this other girl really likes him. And God, it's like evil, like tsundere and yandere and all that shit, put in one visual novel. It's better than Doki Doki Literature Club from what I've heard. Even though I've never played either of them, because I don't play
Doki. Hear you say that?
Yeah, you know what? Fuck that kid, because I don't need to play Doki Doki Literature Club to understand that one, the game's probably not that good, and if it is that good, then okay, it has enough people talking about it. I'll spend some time talking about good games that nobody is talking about, because Doki Doki Literature Club has enough press.
That's fair. That's
yeah.
that's
You got
fair.
you got Polygon and Kotaku articles for days on that shitty game, but here's like.
Azario, the true patriot.
Here's like this one obscure fucking visual novel, the Forbidden Love, super good. And yeah, maybe it's about a guy who likes a younger girl, but hey, it's romantic.
I feel like that visual novel would give me like anxiety, just stress me out.
Checking your windows all the time. It's called the most forbidden love in the world. It's from Manga Gamer, and it's actually a really good visual novel.
Nice.
But I digress. You and Me and Her, a love story, is coming in February to the West, and everyone says it's better than Doki Doki.
Cool. Be sure to check it out. If you like Doki Doki, play the other one. And and then actually compare it and see if Azario is full of shit or not.
Yeah, you could tell me how much Doki Doki Literature Club is your favorite visual novel, but I'll
tweet at Azario.
I'll just say whatever.
Yeah, do a freelance.
Blow his Twitter up.
Do a freelance editorial comparing the two.
Yeah,
side by side comparison.
That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. So that's cool. Thanks, Azario, for sharing that. Other than that, there's not really much that I thought was interesting from this past week. People talking about like retrospectives of like the PSP and the PS Vita and stuff like that. And because I think PlayStation was like, yeah, we're not really doing handhelds stuff anymore. So that was kind of interesting, especially because it's in juxtaposition to a lot of people talking about how well the Nintendo Switch is doing, especially after this past Black Friday and stuff, where that was like the go-to console to be purchased and things like that. What are your guys' thoughts on that? On the fact
I think it's laziness. When you think about it, if you're going to create another system, then that means you're asking developers to spend more money on investing development costs on a totally new system. Right now, a developer can easily port their game to all three consoles, very low cost. There's no cost on the port because they all run the same hardware. The only reason why the Switch has a leg up is that it has its functionality to take it on the go. But if you think in a year the PS5 is going to come out, you're going to be hard pressed to find a PS5 game that will be able to be ported to Switch hardware. It's not going to work. There's going to the divide is going to happen around that time when Xbox One and PS5 move ahead and everyone jumps on board with those, but then developers find it too difficult to port their games on Switch, and you're going to have another third-party fiasco. Right now, everything's chill, We're all cool, we're all happy. But the fact that we're going, and they already released the Nintendo Switch Lite,
Yeah.
So they do have a mobile-only console. They do have the next 3DS, there it is, it's
right. Because I'm just comparing, because I feel like, is there an increased demand nowadays for being able to play good games on the go, as opposed to, are less people being drawn to sitting in front of a console in front of the TV to play games, and are seeing more appeal in mobile gaming, handheld gaming? Or is this more just because everybody's already bought a PS4 and everyone's bought an Xbox, that we're looking for the next thing to buy and the Switch is all that's left over, so obviously the Switch sales are going to be higher for Black Friday?
Yeah, the fact that Steam Link and all of those things are so popular, people play their PlayStation 5 on their laptops and stuff, or PlayStation 4 on their laptops and stuff, the fact that people actually use that technology means that people do like playing not on their television. They like having access to their games wherever they are.
Yeah.
And yeah, there are options for that, but the way that what a dedicated handheld does for you is it offers you a way to play games that you wouldn't normally play on console. You know, there like you reviewed that MMORPG that should have been a mobile game. Yeah, and people talk shit on the Vita for being a fucking indie machine. Like fucking Kotaku wrote that fucking thing, indie machine Vita or whatever, like whatever that. But now they're praising the fucking Switch for being an indie machine.
Yeah.
Come on, you fuckers! Like, what are you doing?
Why is it a bad thing for it to be an indie machine? That's the thing that I want to say.
It, right? Yeah, praise the Vita for being an indie machine.
I think that's the reason that the Switch is doing so well now, is because all the indie people are developing for that, as opposed to
and the eShop highlights their fucking games. If you go to the eShop, you'll find a ton of indie games before you find those AAA games on the homepage. They are doing a great job. If I go to the PSN store, the fucking first thing I see, some Red Dead ad, some Star Wars ad, you know?
Yeah.
I don't
like
care about
six versions of the same game with different DLC editions or whatever.
Nintendo doesn't need those sponsorship deals. You know, they don't need to get behind Battlefield 2 or FIFA 20 to have their logo pop up at the end of it, at the end of a commercial. You know, Xbox and PlayStation, they feel the need to do that, but Switch doesn't. And I think that's where I think that's the only thing that's gonna allow the Switch to survive past the PlayStation 5 and Xbox 2, whatever, is that it's going to need something that these other consoles can't give. And I think the portability is where they're going to have to land. And they can't just upgrade the hardware over and over again. I mean, I bought the damn things, but they can't do it to me again, damn it.
Not again. Yeah, that's a fair point that you're making there.
Well, what about you, Victor?
It's weird because I sort of have tunnel vision to it. Like I can be like a crotchety old man about like there's nothing wrong with the TV and a console and all that stuff because you know it's mostly because like you know I favor like games how they're technically made and like how much like processing power goes into even like having foot step in like sand and it stays there or whatever, but and then like it dynamically fills up with water because it's on a beach or something. Like I don't know why I'm just really impressed by you know the high level talent people have, but you know I'm also not like you know arrogant to it. I have plenty of friends who like they have their Switch Lite. They're thinking of permanently switching to Switch Lite, and it's just not a novelty to it. Like they cannot play games any other way anymore because they're just like, what's better than you know my entire library whenever I want. And so like, you know, I just see the benefit of both, and like I'm just kind of like stepping back and watching like you know how Stadia will develop and be like you can play anywhere on your phone, your laptop, whatever, and then the you know like Azario said the Steam Link where it's just like it's like sure yeah I can be at my computer but like I can also just you know plug the Steam Link into another room and stuff. And yeah. I don't know, like
I think like people are getting really tired of getting pulled in so many directions for like it's becoming too much of a hassle just to play games. You know, like, oh, I can only play this game if I have an Xbox, or I can only play this game if I have a PS4, or I have to play this on an Epic Game Store, or, you know, it's a PC exclusive or stuff like that. People want to be able to just play the damn games that they want to play.
It's the core of the, like, the Epic Steam, like, controversy, quote unquote, is like, you know, we all want our games in one place, and it's just starting to get, you know, a bit spiderweb, like, things just get caught everywhere and you don't remember. Like even you said you bought 2 games on accident once, and yeah, it feels weird.
Yeah, I feel like it's very. I feel like preyed upon as a consumer when companies do that shit, because I'm like, oh, like you're just paying. I want to play the game, but I also don't want to have to jump through all these fucking hoops just to do so. And you're not making it any easier for me, and I don't know if it's ever gonna be to a point where like it's gonna be convenient for me. So then I feel like strong armed into having to buy it just to play the game. So
What Sony needed to do was release a new handheld, which would force Nintendo to also release a new handheld, which would keep Nintendo Switch style games alive.
Mm-hmm.
And it would push the hardware development even further for the handheld space, at least. I mean, come on. Could you imagine like a PlayStation 4 in your hands? You know, like
yeah,
that would be freaking dope. And I'll tell you one thing, if PS5 isn't backwards compatible, I'm gonna send an email. I'm gonna send a goddamn email.
CC me on it.
I'll CC you on it.
CC.
Yeah, I mean, at least there's like companies trying to get in on it, like, or to get some sort of solution. Like that's why, despite the Google Stadia not being as good as we wanted it to be when like, you know, as a final product, like I appreciate that we're heading in that direction of trying to find a solution to where people can play games whenever, wherever that they want, and also opening it up to people who can't either like afford specific hardware or really high-end hardware to play games. So that's why I was like a little disappointed with how the Stadia turned out, but at the same time I'm happy that we're having this kind of like conversation and that companies are starting to do the gaming on demand and stuff like that, or gaming streaming service things, which I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the launch of Stadia was such a beta. Like that should have been like another year from now. They should have launched it.
Yeah.
They should just did Stadia beta.
Mm-hmm.
Like how Red Dead 2 did their beta for a long ass time on console. And yeah, it's like mostly complete, but they knew that they needed some fine tuning, so they just launched it as a beta. People are still putting money into it, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, I feel like it's also in the situation with like VR, right? Where like a while back, VR was like, oh, this is the new thing. This is going to be amazing. And then it turned out like to be really lackluster. And gradually now it's becoming more interesting and things like, and like they're working on improving the hardware and software for it to make it closer to what we imagined it to be. So I think it's like kind of just the expectation thing. We're like, oh, we're going to get it now. It's like, no, you're probably going to get it down the line, but this is kind of like the proof of concept of what could be in video games.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. Good talk, you guys. Good talk. Well,
Vita 2 coming next year.
Make it happen. Start a what's that petition website thing?
Let's go to petition.org.
Yeah, change.org. We'll start a change.org for the Vita 2. Cool. Do you guys have a what do you call it? The get to know your pixels? Do you guys have a get to know your pixels for this week? I want to bring it back. We haven't done it in a while, and I kind of want to do it.
Who's your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Who's my favorite Ninja Turtle? All right, I'm in. I'm in to play this game. I fucking love the Ninja Turtles.
The one with the bow staff.
You're gonna have to say his name.
Yeah, or else we won't believe you.
It's not Raphael.
It's not.
Definitely not Raphael.
Is it Leonardo?
No.
It's Leonardo, right?
Get the fuck out of here. You're fired.
Whatever, that show sucks.
Whoa. Which one? Which rendition of it, though?
Which rendition? Freaking all of them, including Michael Bay.
Okay, I can get behind the Michael Bay one. That one was not very good.
It wasn't very good at all.
It was not. It was actually really hard to watch. The animated one, that TMNT animated movie, was not that bad. the 3D
no,
animated
no.
one. I thought that one was pretty good.
Like where they're
No,
like
it's good.
tiny, kind of.
Yeah, where they're kind of
Yeah.
like more slender.
Yeah, that one's
Yeah.
good.
That one is good.
It's good. I'm just angry. That's all.
The Nick TV show is good. Because I feel like that was a really good one for Ninja Turtles. Okay, the first Nickelodeon one. The new one that they're making or made or whatever, where they're like all weird looking and shit. I'm not into that.
I do like how Ninja Turtles is transcending generations, though. Like kind of like Legos and like I don't know, like what Minecraft will do soon. Like it'll be like 30 years from now, and there's still gonna be Ninja Turtles and like I don't know, maybe Power Rangers, but they're probably gonna die any second now. But
Power Rangers is going big in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I bet
They still, like, even to this day,
Yeah, they're still going.
They still use the Japanese fighting footage
Mm-hmm.
and they mix it with American actors. So the
Mhm.
Americans act out the scenes and then they just replace it with the Japanese fighting scenes.
Yeah,
That is
I think I was watching an
amazing.
interview where they're like telling them how to act like the American actors, and they're like, and then there's gonna be a guy over here, and we're gonna cut it with this footage, and a lot of the actors are like, I don't really know what to do with myself.
Yeah, like Kamen Rider is one of the biggest action stars in Japan. So I don't think Power Rangers is going away. At least not in Japan.
Yeah. But anyways, back to which one's our favorite Ninja Turtle. I like Michelangelo because he's a party dude, and he's got nunchucks, which are a cool weapon, not a stick or a pair of forks or your basic ass katana bullshit. Nunchucks.
I could go with Mikey.
It's all about that Mikey.
Yeah, anytime I channel him when I eat pizza, and there's like this challenge where, because in the cartoon they had all these weird pizzas, like Mikey would come in with like these weird toppings.
Yeah, it's like anchovies and earthworms or something like that.
I feel like maybe one day we should like try to
make Ninja Turtle pizzas.
Yeah,
that'd be
like
fun.
Have like a challenge.
I'd be down to do that. Yeah. Noisy Pixel Eats. Noisy Pixel Palette.
Noisy Pixel. Anyway.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, let's wrap it up then. Thank you, everybody, for listening to another episode of the Noisy Pixel Podcast. We appreciate you. We hope you guys had a nice Thanksgiving or whatever holiday thing that you were doing. Maybe you guys have Black Friday parties. I don't know what the fuck you guys do. So I hope that was nice for you. I hope you enjoyed listening to us ramble and go back and forth. I hope you enjoyed having Azario here this week. Thank you again, Azario.
I'll try to make it more often.
Thank you. I'm gonna pester you about it to get you back on here. But yeah, as always, be sure to check out noisypixel.net. We got a lot of video game stuff on there. More gaming stuff than we actually talk on this podcast, even though this is the official podcast for the website.
Watch my news videos on YouTube.
Yeah, if you want actual video game news and not just us shooting the shit for like an hour, watch Azario's stuff on the YouTube channel. And speaking of the YouTube channel, if you haven't done so already, be sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that stuff that people say at the end. You guys are competent enough. YouTube's been around forever. You guys know how to YouTube nowadays. Help us help you. Yeah, and thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.